Deep Dive with David Stendahl, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David tonight with tonight's deep dive. It is October 3rd, 2018, and tonight we're going to take a look at wheat, the ETF being WEAT. The reason I'm looking at this market is a couple things are in play here. Specifically, we're in a trading range which is tight, and something is starting to bubble up here, and there's an opportunity here. So that's why I really like looking at markets that have opportunity. We have the trend to the downside on the short and intermediate. The longer term is beginning to flatten out a little bit. So we have a mixed bag here when it comes to the trend, but the technicals are pointed higher. Just yesterday they were flat, and today they're starting to head a little bit more bullish, and we have a seasonal bias to the upside, short term as it may be. We also just recently had a wave low that triggered, and so there's a number of things that are really taking place. So if we actually just take a look at wheat by itself, daily bars here for wheat, and you can see the consolidation that's been underway for quite some time. You can see in this energy level indicator right through here that we're in a low phase. The green line is below the yellow, and that tells us that the market is in a tight consolidation and has been in one for a little bit here. So what this means is that we're going to be looking for an opportunity for a breakout, either to the upside or to the downside. Positive is if it breaks above this 200-day moving average, it'll probably head up to the 50-day moving average and then get up into these resistance levels up through here. If it starts to break down, we've got major support here. You can see it at the bottom of the screen right through here. We've got support all the way across. So all you need to do is kind of look at the lows that were set back here in mid-November, mid to September. And with those particular lows, if we break those, then obviously we've got bigger problems underway. But with the wave low that just recently triggered, there's a bias with the seasonals to the upside here. So this is critical support right here, and that number is 496 3/8. And over here, which is a little more refined, is 495 7/8. So call it 496. Now, just quickly going back to the website here, this wave low is typically something that's pretty important to us. And so whenever you see the wave low trigger, that's something that is kind of longer term oriented, and usually will have some real strength to the market. So that's why really kind of harping on this market. But if we take a look at the targets for the market itself, there's a major gap, support gap here, and so that wave low may be pointed to the upside, but as I mentioned with that support level, there's a support gap. So if we break that 496 level, 497 level, thereabouts, there's a major gap here in the support, and so all hell could break loose. So just watch the market very carefully, solely because of the fact that there's with great opportunity comes risk, and this is where the risk is with this support gap. There is no support, and therefore there's a gap. Now the systems. Here is kind of a breakdown for all of the systems, and here is wheat on the lower side. You can see there are many other markets that are doing much better, but we've just started to establish some long positions. We have been short with one system, and we've just recently done a couple of things here just recently. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at wheat by itself, and here's wheat where we have a short position that's been out there for a couple of months or so, but you see 10.3, 10.3, 10.3 today. We had a couple of systems that went long the market. Now these are all shorter term, 120 minute, 120 minute, a 90 minute. This daily long system has been long for a little bit, so all the little losses are in the short term systems that just triggered. So we have an open position profit, but we're losing a little bit of money on the new positions that just triggered, and it does take a little while for them to just really kick into gear. So watch your positions here with the system starting to trigger more on the bull side. What will happen is that this short that we have up here and the long that we have down here, one's a daily and this one's a daily, they're going to offset one another. They're hedged. So the real positions on the short-term basis are these that are established on these intraday basis. And so what they're obviously looking for is the conditions for the market to settle out in this little consolidation period that we're in right now, this trading range. And if we're able to get it to base, even with this little sell-off here today, if we can really get it to break above this gray line here, which is the 200-day, then we should be off to the races, and I think will be fulfilled. If for some reason we continue to the downside, then that major support level that I talked about is really going to come into play. So just simply watch your positions. But for right now, we're more bullish than bearish, and we'll see us run out the market's actually able to really rally here. The last thing I'm going to touch on here today is that tomorrow, I believe, we're going to release our seasonal trading outlook. This is going to be the fall edition for 2018. Myself and Darren Newsom have put this newsletter together. It's pretty substantial in that we have kind of an outlook. We've got some videos that are going to be in here. We have some markets that we'll be reviewing, giving some type of an overview as to bullish, bearish. We'll obviously look at some specific dates for certain markets, and then we'll have some charts where we talk about opportunities for not just the markets we're talking about, but some additional markets to give you an idea as to which way the markets could be headed in the longer term. And then we also have an ETF guide in here for those that don't want to trade futures, but you want to trade some other markets, say for example wheat. Then we'll have the WEAT 1X, meaning it's there's no leverage to it per se, particular fund ETF that you can take advantage of. So we'll have a lot of information here, and this information should be available here. Having created this with myself, Dave Stendahl, and Darren Newsom, we've created this particular outlook for the fall, so for the next 3 months. That should be out hopefully tomorrow, and then what we'll do is post something up onto the site where you can click and download it and have a closer look as to what's happening not only in wheat, but with some additional markets as well. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and we will take a look at another market tomorrow. Bye-bye.